Get rich fast with csgofast.com.
ECS Season 1 Finals Day 2 has come to an end, and we have all of our semifinalists locked in. And now, obviously, the big surprise of the tournament, or maybe even the E-League going back a week or two. And now, so starting off with E-League, we can actually start there. Obviously, you took Fnatic to a couple of really, really close games and generally had a really good showing for kind of the expectations that everybody had for you. So, like, how did that help with the confidence, seeing as you are a new team and you kind of are going here as slight underdogs?
I mean, the confidence was always there for us just because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like Katie and he's a cool guy, but his role was actually to be an opper for the team for E-League, but then when we scrimmed, it felt so bad. Like, not that he was bad, but because I had a hard time calling, because I've been calling and opping, and it felt weird not being in the middle part of the map, you know what I mean? Like, it just messed everything up, so I was like, dude, just... And then plus FNS was taking roles, you know, it was like too much of a change for like 9 days. So I was like, just go back to that. So when we switched back to Twist, it's just like an upgrade in terms of like a more skilled rifler and more cohesion because he's played with us longer, right? So, like I said, nothing against Cadian. I really liked playing with him. He was a great teammate. He, you know, a lot of energy and stuff like that. It's just that, you know, when you played months with someone that is a primary rifler, I knew that we could do damage here, like as long as we played well. So, yeah, I mean, then you, like you said, the Fnatic close games and stuff. Without even our real roster, I just like, yeah, I still think we blew the Cobble game here too. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely had confidence. So.
All right. So what about actual practice? Because you didn't really have that much time in between E-League and this, and obviously there's this change of player in between that. Well, not the change, but like obviously with Cadian. So like, how much did you actually kind of take away from E-League and came up to here?
I mean, E-League was more, I mean, we had 3 days practice with Twist, but I mean, you're not going to revamp your whole game style in 3 days. So it was mostly do what we did before MLG qualifier and implement the things that we learned at E-League, like you said. Just mistakes, how we've lost ecos, certain rounds, maybe scout a bit more on certain rounds. Not the gunna scout, but, you know, like send someone in, just suicide him and be ready to go to the other site if they're stacked there. So I definitely think we implemented a little bit more like safeties, and that's not something that changes the strat, just makes, you know, maybe keep people further back, you know, just so we're not all just going and getting slaughtered. Because gun rounds, we're actually very powerful on gun rounds. Like, you give us max money, you give another max money, we're better most of the time. It's like you give them Tech 9s and we'll just instantly lose, and then we'll save, and then we'll force buy, and then we'll lose. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah.
And you've kind of became known for this Cobble because like the platform like kind of the executes towards B and all that. But yeah, first of all, you met Australis and beat them in quite a close manner. But obviously a very surprising result. How did that game go from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, we actually ended up losing Pistol and being down like 6-1 or something. We actually ended up getting 8 T rounds, so the T half actually went well considering how badly we were down. Our T-side Cobble is generally pretty good for us, so yeah, I definitely think that they had a couple tricks that we weren't really aware of, because like they only had one Cobble demo because they're not really known for playing it. I was surprised it even got let through, personally. And then on CT side, from the one demo I watched, I kind of knew they like to go B a lot, and that's why we just kept playing a lot B. And I think their lack of diversity is the reason that we beat them, personally. And yeah, it was easy to read them, right? So that's how that game went pretty much. Like, our CT side is usually pretty bad on that map, and we get carried by our T. But their T side was just not, like, Fnatic is much harder to read. When you play Fnatic and they had to come back versus us, it was just, you know, they get drop control and you're not sure, are they actually in drop, are they not in drop? JW might scrim out the window smoke or something, you know, with a shotgun, and then they actually end up going like 4 halls or the B split. And they're just really good at splitting at the right time, like right when you're confused. Whereas like some of the other teams, it's easier to read, you know, they'll just not get drop control, you know it's clear, and they'll just B execute. And like, that is not a bad strat, it's just easier to read or easier to prepare for.
So what about then, I remember from this Fnatic game that you were up quite a lot and then you kind of dropped the ball. So is that, like what you just explained, is that kind of a part of their comeback and them being able to kind of close it out at the end?
I mean, honestly, they're just the more experienced and better team, right? So I don't think they like got emo or anything. They probably kind of disappointed they're down that much, being who they are, but you know, they know how to grind. Them and Luminosity are the best grinders in the game, right? So I guess like you always knew that you can still lose this game, so they just kept hitting B a lot, and I played pretty poorly in that match, and we had some miscommunications at B. We need to find a better way to, like, if I'm offing A, it's very hard to get in as a retake with an op. Like, whether I miss shots or not, it doesn't really matter. Like, there's smokes everywhere. If they get close on the connector door, there's zero chance. Like, maybe I don't know. It's one of those things that we talked about. Like, maybe we just save more. You know, like just like if we're not in up numbers, we just save, because that side is just so impossible to retake.
All right. So lastly, it was Cloud9, obviously, that you just played. Now, first of all, there some of them are your former teammates. So how did that feel going into that game, especially considering you're both from NA, have a lot of practice against each other and all that?
Yeah, I mean, the fact they're my former teammates, I mean, it's like motivation, obviously, to want to beat them since they replaced me. But I mean, in terms of like their play style, I didn't really gain that much knowledge from their play style, just because Slummy's kind of changed a lot of how they play. It's not if I was to play versus Sean or Jordan was calling, I might have more of a better insight into how they're playing. So I mean, I played versus Slummy before, so it's not like I don't know how he plays. It's just the ex-teammate factor didn't really play into the win. I don't feel like it wasn't like I knew like this is what they're gonna do. But I mean, we play versus those guys in scrims and, you know, FPLs. You know, people know like plays that Stewie likes to make, you know, in smokes or whatever. And yeah, I just think we're comfortable playing other NA teams. You know, that's our main practice.
So you are going to play against another NA team, and that's going to be Luminosity. And you guys did have quite a few online results against them, at least pretty good online results, and have a lot of practice against them on all that. So how do you see your chances against who was pretty much the best team in the world right now?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that we're favorites, but I definitely, like, we're not scared. I mean, we play versus them all the time in scrims, and we've taken maps off them. We might not have beat them in a best of 3 or something, but I think we've been improving since the last times we played them. So I definitely think we can win. They're another team like Fnatic that are good at grinding, and if the score gets to 14-14, I feel like my team kind of we crumble a little bit. So we got to close the game out before it gets to that point where they start making the comeback, right? Because that's going to kill us. And you know, but they also have the potential, just like 16-5 or something. It's you know, just how it is. But yeah, we're not going to be like scared of them. We're going to go just like we played Cloud9 and just like we played Fnatic. So.
All right, so now obviously NA teams here at this event, obviously Liquid went through this big lineup change. Cloud9 have done fairly well at least in the past couple of weeks as well. What do you really account this whole like rise of NA in the past few weeks, I guess?
Well, I just think most people are idiots, and they just expect everyone to win. How can every team win all the time? Like, if Fnatic's always winning, then how are we supposed to always win? You know, like, we got to take turns, you know? So maybe Fnatic has 1 or 2 years, and then maybe TSM has 1 or 2 years, you know? Like, that's just how it's got to be sometimes. So
is it going to be the year of TSM now? With 6 seems like a pretty good lineup change for you guys. I think he actually is the best rated player at this event right now by a big margin, if I'm not mistaken. So how did that really pan out?
Yeah, Sick is really talented. I mean, he's got that natural spray, that young talent. Like, you know, the people that play Source in 1.6, they have like habits from those games like ingrained in them. He doesn't have that. You know, it's just like go is what he knows, and you can see in just like how he shoots and moves in the map. And you know, like, he'll just 30 bullet spray, unsilenced Colt, like get like 3 kills, and just like I wouldn't even attempt to kill some of the people he kills. Like, I mean, I'm more of a tapper anyways, so I wouldn't even probably do that. But I mean, his spray is insane, and you know, he pretty much compete with anyone in the world, like aim wise. And you know, Twist is kind of like that too, but maybe not. Twist is more like plays off like angles and out positioning and out maneuvering, you know what I mean? Like,
a little bit more passive?
Yeah, a little bit more passive, maybe more methodical, whereas like Sick is more just like, well, I'm just going to kill him, and he'll just kill him. So, I mean, do your thing.
All right, thank you very much for the interview. Do you have any last words, shout outs or anything?
Yeah, just shout out to my sponsors, you know, Team Solomid, you know, we got Logitech, Geico, HTC, CyberPower PC, me. I'm not a sponsor, but I don't know.
That's good. All right, we're going to come back tomorrow with interviews from the semifinals, so stay tuned to HLTV.org.